What's going on, guys? Coming at you from the famous Stubb Cycles Harley Davidson in beautiful Houston, Texas. And look what I get to bring to you today, fellas. This is a 2025 Harley Davidson Pan America. So many folks have told me that I am doing myself a disservice by not being able to throw a leg over this machine and give it a go. Guys, I gotta tell you, it is striking to look at in person. I gotta tell you, I think this might be one of the best looking motorcycles of its kind in that sport utility, sport touring class of bike. But what's this thing like to ride? Well, let's throw a leg over this monster and find out. So many of you guys have told me I've got to ride this bike, and so I finally get a chance to. So initially getting on this motorcycle, you can see the steering stabilizer right there. Nice big TFT screen. Adjustable on the fly screen. Like this a lot. That's nice. So let's go ahead, get this motorcycle fired up. It does have the automatically adjustable suspension, and so it's cool when you go to start it up, the motorcycle just kind of settles down. It's pretty nice. But look at that TFT screen. That is good looking. So we've got multiple modes we can play with. Right now we're in mode road. We can go to sport. It's got a hill climbing. This thing's got a little bit of everything. A rain mode. We're going to put this bad boy in sport. All right, so specs on this machine before we get going. We've got about 150 horsepower coming out of a 1250cc V-twin, weighing in at 569 pounds when she is fully fueled. Let's press the start button and get her going. This motorcycle has got every conceivable doodad that you could want. Cruise control, rider modes, a big TFT, the look. But what is it like to ride? I'm about to find out and take you along with me. Let's get out of here. Love the sound of this engine already, guys. It's got a nice throaty growl to it, nice intake growl to it. Let's get going. Before I get too far, I've got to send a huge shout out to Hunter and the rest of the crew at Stubb Cycles for allowing me the opportunity to bring this motorcycle to you. And already, guys, I am loving this. Very commanding stance. Nice, punchy, too, engine. Let these folks move on, and we'll get on the highway, see how she gets down the road. I can already tell you guys, this bike is strong. And at a claimed 569 pounds, it doesn't feel like that. By the way, this gearbox is incredibly slick. Incredibly smooth. And blend into traffic here. Very comfortable riding position. Neutral as you would expect, but everything feels very well placed. Handlebar position, the way that everything feels is really top notch, as you would expect. Harley Davidson is, at the end of the day, truthfully an aspirational brand for most folks. Roll into the throttle here. Oh, this thing is punchy, guys. Yeah, I gotta tell you, it does not feel like it weighs 570-ish pounds. It feels light on its feet. I gotta say, this feels every bit as light on its feet as any of the middle weights that you may be expecting. Quick rolling into the throttle, and it just collects mile an hour so effortlessly too. I don't know that a cruiser could be this comfortable with this automatic suspension setup that this motorcycle has. You get on it, you put the mode that you want, you set it, you forget it, and goodness, is it nice. say this, it's deceivingly fast. Hey, it's so plush and it's so smooth, and just tipping into the throttle, this thing absolutely motors. This is an impressive bike, guys. I could easily see myself collecting huge miles with a bike like this. The screen just cruising down the road, easy to flip down if you wanted it down. Flips right back up. God, that is nice. Oh, the transmission, very silky on downshifts. No quick shifter, but God, I don't know if you need it with this bike. Good throttle response to allow for blips on downshifts. Oh, that is so nice. Okay, so straight away, I got to tell you, this thing is really, really good, and I am so impressed by the smoothness of the power delivery of this bike. And the way that you can just drop it into a corner. This is a lot more lively than the spec sheet would ever allow you to assume that it would be. And with about 150 horsepower on tap coming out of this 1250cc V-twin, I mean, it makes quick work of the weight that it's carrying. It just doesn't feel heavy at all. I'm probably going to wear that point out just because, you know, when you look at spec sheets on a motorcycle, you might develop like a preconceived notion of how that machine is going to get down the road, but I got to tell you, this thing is really nice. Go ahead and merge into traffic. And I mean, it scoots, guys. A nice intake growl coming from right in front of you. What a fun machine. Harley Davidson, you have got to make more bikes like this. This is so nice to ride, so comfortable, powerful. But sporty. I mean, I can see where and why folks have said that not giving this motorcycle an opportunity has been a disservice, and I have to agree with that. My bad, guys. If you've got one of these bikes, I can completely understand why. Yes, these motorcycles do come at a premium. However, boy, do you know where your money has been spent. This is a 6-gear roll-on, and it absolutely trucks. Here, cruising at highway speeds, not at all buzzy. Just the thump, thump, thump coming from this big V-twin right underneath me. This is that good, guys. Credit where it is due. You know, I mentioned this bike having all the technology that it does and not having a quick shifter, but as slick and as precise as the shifter is on this bike, I don't see you really needing one. You know, normally I would exit here. I don't think I want to exit here. I want to go ahead, scoot over, get a little bit more time with this machine. It's not very often I get a chance to ride a bike like this, one that is in the process of transforming my outlook on a brand. And that is exactly what this motorcycle is doing. I have a completely different outlook on Harley Davidson just in the short amount of time that I've been able to spend. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Oh yes, Harley Davidson, you did a good job. Oh, this bike is nice to ride. Please make more bikes like this. what an amazing machine to ride. Just in normal traffic scenarios, it's got a ton of poke. So to just put it into any slot that you want in traffic, twist the throttle, lots of response, very strong and sharp throttle response out of this machine. Now we are in sport mode, so this is presumably the most aggressive, but it feels, you know what, if I haven't said it already, this bike feels a lot like as if you were riding a big, almost like as if you're riding a big sport naked bike, with as punchy as it is. It's that initial just twist of the throttle, that snap that it has. That is nice. Let's go ahead and scoot over here, take this exit before I end up just riding this thing home. This is really, I could imagine this as a bike that you could have to do literally everything from commuting, but touring, eating up tons of miles. I don't know if I've mentioned this or not, this gas tank is 5.5 gallons. So it's got a good amount of range to it as well. And with the power that this machine has, riding 2 up with luggage would be no problem whatsoever. That automatic suspension, taking care of all of the preload for you, all of the dampening. God, this thing would just be amazing to chew up miles with. Or should I say, and with as flickable as it feels, God, this thing does not feel like it's 500 and anything pounds. I mean, yeah, it's a sport touring bike, so you don't expect it to feel necessarily like a sport bike, obviously, like a true sport bike, like a sport naked bike. This thing carries its weight exceptionally well. And just throttle response for blip downshifts. Oh, that is good. That's better than some sport bikes, guys. I have to admit, it really, truly is. And let us go. Thank you very much. Oh, this is nice. Suspension just eating up these bumps and undulations like that. Oh, so nice. Oh, this bike is properly fun and properly fast. Got a little bit of a chance back there, kind of dusty. Got a chance to tip the back end of the bike out just a little bit, as you should on a sport adventure motorcycle like this. Oh, very eager and very playful in its personality once you start tipping in with this throttle, guys. Oh, this bike is just showing so much fun personality. Very sedate, very laid back in traffic. You'd never get the impression that this thing wants to play like that. How fun is this? Guys, I gotta tell you, I am impressed. I am completely changing my mind about the brand, about the Bar and Shield. You know, a lot of folks would view Harley Davidson as a company that only makes bikes like cruisers and things like that. You might not even remember that this motorcycle is in the lineup, but I'm not going to let you forget. Oh man, I'll be singing the praises of this machine for a long time. And the tip-in, God, that's the main thing. And, you know, you kind of expect it in a way from a V-twin, that initial tip-in torque push, but this thing has got a snap to it that you wouldn't necessarily expect from a machine like this that weighs as much as this bike does. It does not feel like that. And that playful nature really does come out the second you start tipping into the throttle. Oh, this is a good bike. Harley Davidson, if you were watching this, please make more machines like this. What a cool bike. What a fun experience to be able to bring this machine to you. And I gotta tell you, in just a short amount of time, I've been able to enjoy this machine. It has changed my mind quite a bit. Even as far as the segment is concerned, the sport touring bike. I don't want to take this one back either. I know I say that about other bikes, but this thing, a ride like this is just not going to be able to do this machine any justice. It is that good, guys. Harley Davidson, you did a phenomenal job with this machine. Make more like it. We need Harley Davidson to be making motorcycles like this, just as they're making motorcycles, you know, for the cruiser crowd. I get it, and that's important, and that's a good thing. Let me get back here to the back lot. I'm gonna show you just what I was talking about in terms of how nimble this bike feels and how well it seems to carry its weight. Now, I'm no MSF instructor. You're never gonna catch me being able to pull some of these tight lines off, but for the first time for me to ride this bike, no need to put a foot down. This bike is so stable. Creeping this thing down in the parking lot, slow speed maneuvers. It just feels so well balanced. What an awesome bike. So for all of you guys that have been saying, oh, you've got to ride the Pan America, you've got to get out on that bike. Where's that kickstand at? There we go. Make sure that thing goes all the way down. Let me hop off of this machine and give you a final parting view. 1250cc V-twin in a sport touring bike, a sport utility bike. This thing is amazing, guys. And again, huge thanks to Stubbs Harley Davidson for allowing me this opportunity. Post up your comments. Let me know what you think about this machine, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks again.